Imagine a street lined with nightclubs. Nobody gets into a nightclub unless the bouncers lets them in. The nightclubs are body cells. The bouncers are insulin molecules. The customers waiting in line are glucose molecules. In type 2 diabetes, the bouncers are still there, but some of them are hanging out in the alley, throwing dice. Others are distracted, flirting, or just not paying attention. They're supposed to let customers in, but they're not doing their jobs at all. So the customers keep lining up. The street gets more and more crowded, and it just keeps getting worse. In type 1 diabetes, there are no bouncers at all. Customers show up, they wait, but no one ever lets them in. Even by the late 19th century, doctors had little to offer for treating diabetes beyond extreme starvation diets. Patients were allowed only minimal food, often just coffee or whiskey, to reduce suffering. Today, we know that diabetes is a chronic disease that disrupts how body converts food into energy. It causes dangerously high blood sugar and damages organs like the kidneys, heart, and eyes. One person believed that things could not go on like this. That person was Frederick Banting, a young surgeon from Ontario, Canada, with mediocre grades, a failed medical practice, and no idea that his determination would change the world. Doctors already knew something about pancreas before Banting. It is necessary to control blood sugar. It makes digestive chemicals that break food down. Removing the pancreas from animals causes diabetes almost immediately. So, they crashed the pancreas, mixed it with salt water to make an extract, and injected it into animals. The idea made sense at the time, but it failed because when the pancreas was crashed, it released a strong digestive chemical that was destroying the insulin. Banting came with a simple idea. Keep the pancreas from releasing its digestive chemicals, take the insulin, and use it to treat diabetes. In 1921, Banting went to the University of Toronto and explained his idea to John McLeod, a senior professor who didn't fully believe him at first, but still gave Banting a small lab, some animals to experiment on, and a short chance to prove it. McLeod was already a well-known professor whose opinion carried weight in the scientific community. He understood that the problem of diabetes was very important and chose to support Banting. Also, to help him, McLeod paired Banting with Charles Best, a young medical student who worked with Banting in the lab, ran experiments on animals, and handled much of the boring stuff. They started with experiments on dogs' pancreases. They blocked the part of the pancreas that released digestive chemicals. They took that tissue, crashed it, mixed it with salt water, and filtered it to get the insulin. This time, the liquid was different. It was much cleaner, and it didn't destroy the insulin right away. They injected this new extract into dogs that had diabetes. It didn't work every time. Sometimes the extract was too weak, sometimes it was still too dirty. They needed someone who could make the extract cleaner and safer. That's when James Collip joined the team. He adjusted the process, making filtering more efficient.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, science!
By early 1922, they were ready to try it on humans. The first patient was Leonard Thompson. He was just 14-year-old and had severe diabetes. The first dose helped only a little and caused strong side effects. Leonard developed fever, pain at the injection site, and allergic reaction because the extract still contained impurities from the pancreas tissue. So the team stopped, cleaned the extract further, and tried again. The second injection worked. Leonard's blood sugar suddenly dropped. His strength slowly returned and he began to gain weight. After Leonard Thompson, insulin was given to more patients in the same hospital. Many of them were children who had been on starvation diets for months. Doctors saw the same pattern again and again. After insulin injections, blood sugar dropped within hours. Patients became more alert, and they stopped losing weight and slowly began to recover. Banting's team and Banting himself agreed on one thing. All the work they were doing was for people in need and not to make a profit from insulin production. so they sold the patent to the University of Toronto for the incredible sum of just $1. Banting's small lab couldn't keep up with the big demand, so the university chose to partner with Eli Lilly Company, a specialized pharmaceutical company from Indiana, USA, which could keep up with the production and, at the time, had decent filtering technology and access to animal pancreases. Truckloads of frozen cow and pig pancreases were shipped to laboratories for insulin production. However, there was another problem. It took over 2 tons of pig pancreases to extract just 8 ounces of purified insulin. The human population was growing, but the number of cows and pigs wasn't growing fast enough to keep up with the demand for insulin. Plus, some patients' immune systems were starting to fire the animal cells, recognizing them as intruders and attacking them. Also, at that time, the Nobel Committee announced they were awarding the prize to 2 people, Frederick Banting and John McLeod. Remember McLeod, the guy from the University of Toronto who gave Banting access to the labs and animals? Yes, that's him, and he is on vacation in Scotland. Banting was furious. He didn't want to be on the same plaque as McLeod, feeling that he had done all the dirty work, while McLeod had simply provided the keys to the lab. To make things right, Banting chose to split his prize money with Charles Best, who had assisted him in all the experiments. He also convinced McLeod to split his half with James Collip, the chemist who had actually purified the insulin. Even with the Nobel Prize drama settled, the animal problem was becoming a crisis. By the mid-20th century, the demand for insulin was skyrocketing. Diabetes was no longer a death sentence, which meant millions of people were now living long lives, but they all needed a daily supply of insulin to stay alive. Scientists decided to stop looking at the farm and start looking at DNA. Instead of taking insulin from an animal, they took the gene for human insulin and tucked it inside the colon bacteria. The bacteria took that gene and started churning out 100% pure human insulin. They didn't need thousands of acres of land or millions of animals. They just needed a warm tank of sugar water. By turning microscopic bacteria into tiny invisible factories, humanity finally broke free from the limitations of the farm. This wasn't just a win for diabetes. It was the birth of the biotechnology industry. Humulin was the first ever drug made using recombinant DNA technology. For the first time in 60 years, patients were injecting human insulin, not a close enough animal version. As of 2026, roughly 1 in 10 adults worldwide live with diabetes. By 2045, the number of people living with diabetes is expected to reach 783 million. For the roughly 9 million people with type 1 diabetes, insulin is as necessary as oxygen. 1 in 2 people who need insulin today cannot afford it or access it reliably. In some low-income countries, the cost of a month's supply of insulin can equal half of a family's total income. While the animal problem was solved by bacteria, the price problem is the next big wall that modern science and politics are trying to break down. The Banting team changed history because they put people before money. By selling their discovery for only $1, they made sure that a life-saving medicine could reach everyone, not just the rich. Their hard work turned a deadly disease into a normal life for millions of families. Today, the team is remembered as heroes who gave a great gift to the whole world. In London, Ontario, there is a special place called the Flame of Hope. It is a fire that was lit to honor Frederick Banting and everyone living with diabetes. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to History Sticks for more.